kind of value you render determines the kind of money you make. And that's very true, right? So I'll start by saying that the key to financial progress or the key to being financially intelligent starts by investing in yourself, right? So you can only be more if you are more, right? If you don't invest in yourself, then you are limiting, there's a cap to the amount of money you can make. There is a cap, right? Because it means there's a cap to the kind of value you can what? Bring, right? And when I say investing in yourself is a broad spectrum, right? So investing in yourself, depending on the field you are, depending on where you find yourself, depending on your circumstance, that will determine the kind of investment you put in yourself. So for example, and this is not just talking about going to school, right? So going to school, it's great. Doing things after school, sharpening your skills, doing trainings, doing certifications, doing all these things help to what? Improve your what? Sellability, improve your value, so that you can get great jobs. And then once you start making money, you then become financially intelligent and then let the money work for you. You start investing, right? So the key is what? First, investing in yourself, then you start earning, and then when you start earning, you start saving, and then you start saving, you can then start what? Investing, right? So sometimes we always think that, because I'm not making as much, right? But the main thing there is the habit, right? You can't form the habit when you start making 1 million or 2 million, right? The habit has to start from when you are making what? The small money. And so it's what you start doing now is what will determine what you do when you make it big, or when the big money comes. All right. Now, so there's another thing, right? How many of us are into business here? How many of us do you do business? Okay. So I think one other part in doing business, right, that's a whole separate conversation, right? So I'll divide it into two. One, if you are working, that's you have a job, an employment, and if you are doing business. Now, if you are working, right, I've said investing in yourself, right, sharpening your skills, taking courses, knowing what is happening around you. Now, some of us don't know what is happening. How many of us read newspapers? So you need to read far and wide, right? I remember when I was in the university, and I'll just take a short story. Part of what formed my own journey, right, was just being self-aware, right? I remember I would buy, was it Business Day, then 50 naira. I was just buying it. I would just buy it, read, I'll read the stocks, I even bought some stocks then when I was in school, just for fun. I was just trying to understand finance, understand, all the stock market works and all these things. So I was reading a lot. I knew about at least the latest events in almost all the industries or sectors, basically. What's happening in agri? What's happening in manufacturing? What's happening in technology, right? What's the latest news? What did Dangote just do, right? All these things are just information that sits residually in your head. When the time you need it, it will come out, right? So you just need to read. There are books you can read. There's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's The Millionaire Next Door, right? There are different kind of books that you can read that helps to change your mindset. Now, those are some of the things that change. And this thing is a mindset thing. So it starts from your mindset, right? And that's your capacity, the value you can bring to the table. Once you remove that barrier, right, the ability to make money or the ability to think big, right, is awakened. And that is the first step toward financial security, to financial intelligence, is just a mindset shift, right? Being able to think that there's no limitation. once you achieve that, the rest will come to you. The rest is just a function of other actions and activities you do along the way. So it's a journey. It's not just that, oh, you arrive and then I have money. It doesn't work that way, right? It's a cumulative series of journey that takes you to that point where you can now say, oh, I'm financially independent or I'm free, right? And so you need to be very deliberate. So I remember I always read all those things. And the first time I would need it, right? I was still in school, I think my final year, and I'd become a certified project manager, right? Because I just thought that the way I'm going about, I won't finish with first class, I won't finish with 2-1. This 2-2 self is shaking, right? Let me just do something extra, to shock it, so that if I get there, even though I had the idea that I wasn't going to work for anybody, right? I started a training company, started doing trainings when I was in school. But I remember the interview I had, the first question the CEO asked me. He said, so tell me what is happening in Nigeria. Tell me what is happening in all the sectors in the country. And I just smiled because I've read, right? And I just started talking about each sector. Oh, did you know this happened? Did you know this company just acquired this company? Did you know this? And by the time he finished, he said, I don't have any role for you, but I will create one. And that was how I got my first job. In fact, I negotiated that I didn't want to be coming. This was in 2011 or 2012. I said I wasn't going to come here. I said, sir, I started my business. I don't want to come to the office every day. And he agreed. And so I was earning 250,000. That was my first pay. Without having the need to come to the office. Because of what? Value. Right? And so anything is possible. The truth is, when you get to a point, right, and it's just the times and seasons where we are, where the young people, where we get to a point where, you increase your value, at the beginning, right, you do more work than what you are being paid. Then it gets to a point where you get paid more than the work you are doing. But you need to pay your dues. There's a point, and that's why the internship system of the Igbos is one of the best in the world. Because you serve, and after you serve at the point, then you get established. But you've learned a lot of things along the way, right? But nobody wants to serve again. Everybody wants to be your guy immediately, right? You want to just be on your own, be called CEO, straight up, right? So it's very important for you to grow value. And you grow value by what? Shadowing, by having a mentor, by working, right? By training, right? Find a place you want to be, train, try and be the best. That if they call anybody in this particular field, I'm going to be the best. That's how we start. Thank you. So question and answer now.
Thank you very much, sir. We are
let's sit down.
in the question and answer session. Financial intelligence is actually a very broad topic, as you said, and I believe a lot of people have questions pondering in their mind. So we've collected different questions, and the first question is a very critical one, which I believe a lot of people struggle in this aspect. So the first question is, how can someone cultivate a saving attitude?
Very interesting. So saving is very tricky, right? Because, people complain that the money you are earning is not enough. It's not enough to take care of yourself. So I think for saving, it's more about the discipline, the habits than the money. Do you understand? It's more about the habit than the amount in the first place. So I advise that whatever you earn, take 20%, keep it aside.
Take 20%, keep it aside. I could remember my first job. I was earning 17.5 and I was saving 10,000 naira. My friend was like, "Guy, are you mad?" But I grew up in an environment whereby my parents imbibed the habit of savings in me. So, and my expectation is that I save for unforeseen. Because when there's something I need to do urgently, I can pick from my savings and see I have something left. But a lot of people have this mentality that I'm not earning much. Why should I save?
So it's basically about the habit, right? Before you even start spending. In fact, it's easier now. There's this direct debit, or there are apps that you can use. I know I'm not even advertising them, but there's all this PiggyVest and Co. that all these apps, even your bank app, you can put an instruction that when money hits your account, remove so amount and take it to an account that you don't want to, touch, right? So it's become easier now, but it's something you need to start now. That's the first step.
Thank you, sir. Our second question is, how do I differentiate savings from investment?
So savings can be for transactional, can be for emergencies, right? Investments, right, is trying to grow the value of that savings, right? So basically, putting your money in places that will work for you, right? So making your money earn. So you're basically saying, I think money is like soldiers, right? So you are sending your money as soldiers to go and take captives, right? So they go and capture other monies and then bring them back to you, right? So you need to send them on an errand. If you don't send them on an errand, they will what? Remain with you, and they will not grow. They will not multiply. In fact, it can even depreciate. Inflation is increasing. We enter double digits. So basically, those are some of the things you need to know. You need to go and read what is inflation, right? All these terms, when they say inflation, go and read. Google. Google is your best friend. What is inflation? Read about it. Learn more. So investing is basically making your money work for you, and you have different places you can put your money, right? Real estate, money market. So putting your money in the money market, earning a return per annum, right? Stocks, basically. And taking it further is if you have a business, reinvesting in your business, right? Even at that, I still suggest that you take some money out and then you put it in a separate form of investment, right? So to diversify, exactly. So basically, that's investment. Now, if you want that, going deep is now a different ballgame, but the high level is that you take a part of your money and then you invest, right?
Thank you, sir. Please, if you have any question, kindly write it down and pass it to the usher. All right, sir. This third question is actually common among the youths. We see a lot of youths, they have financial leakages that they are not aware that this thing I'm doing is a financial leakage to my financial life. So the question is, how can someone block financial leakages?
Okay, so 2 ways. Biblically, of course, we say pay your tithe, right? Pay your tithe, and then also God will take care of that part, which He has said in the Word, right? And then the second is some of the activities that we do, right, that takes money away from us, right? So, I don't drink, right? So if you're a person that drinks a lot, or you would like to go to the bar, that you know that is enough to what? To take your money, right? They know, yeah, exactly. So basically, I think it's more around cutting unnecessary activities, right? So cutting unnecessary activities basically would help you to save a lot more, right? You remove unnecessary expenses. How do you so making money or having money to save is simply making sure your income is more than your expense, right? If your income is more than your expense, you have some money left, then you can save. You can then invest. So 2 ways is, how do I increase my income? And how do I lower my expense or keep my expense the same, right? That is the key. So even though we are saying take 20% of your earnings, right? But you have to start thinking of, how do I also increase my income? If I'm selling granite, what other things can I add to the granite to what? Increase. I'm selling granite to people. Maybe I have a store. Should I bottle the groundnut? Should I sell to companies, right? Will it be faster? Will it be better? Can I charge a premium on that groundnut so that I can earn more money, right? And you just start innovating and thinking about values you can add on what you are doing to earn more money. That's one of the key ways.
All right, thank you. Let me just, in addition to that, I think one of the things that is prevailing among youth is that you see people subscribe on their DSTV. They have a Netflix app on their phone. They subscribe onto it. They have a data they pay for. To me, personally, my personal opinion, I think those three things are financial leakages. As a youth, you can't subscribe on your DSTV and you still have subscription on your Netflix account. You still pay for data. Personally, to me, I think it's a financial leakages. To me, it's a financial leakages. So, as you said, increase your income and reduce your expenses. The fourth question is, this one is very tricky because I know scripture said Jesus Christ died poor for me to be rich. So I don't know where they get this question from. He says, should a Christian aspire to be rich?
By all means. By all means. As in, it says Philippians 4:19 now. God will supply your needs according to his what? It means God is rich. My God is rich. He owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. He's not a poor man that owns cattle on 1,000 hills. So basically, aspire to be wealthy. Not rich, wealthy. Now, being wealthy is not just money, right? It's an all-encompassing thing, right? So health, your family, your friendships, what you are doing, your career or your business, everything, growing in everything as a whole makes you wealthy, right? Because what's the essence of having money and you are ill, right? So when you're talking about prosperity or you're talking about being wealthy or being rich, you should think about it holistically, right? The quality of the friendship you have, the quality of your health, and all these other things tying together, basically. But yes, in terms of monetary, having money, please aspire to be rich. And please do the things that will make you rich. Don't just think about it, not daydreaming alone, right? Working towards it. And it's very possible, right? In my field, it's very possible. I'm in the tech field. I have young boys that are multimillionaires, billionaires, right? So it's very possible, right?
Thank you very much. It's possible for a Christian to be rich. There was a book I read by Richard Templar, Rule of Wealth. The first principle of that rule said, wealth is not bias. Yeah. It means wealth cannot say, because Jimmy's face is fine, let me go to Jimmy. No. If you do the principle of wealth, you will get money.
Let me add something. Do you know, so they did a study, all the millionaires, the current millionaires in the world today. You know when they say somebody is rich, there's this bias that, his father was rich, he went to this school, or is this one, right? But they did a study that 80-something% of the current millionaires in the world are first-time millionaires. Meaning that they became millionaires. Not their families were poor, their families were, and these are thousands of people, that own millions of dollars, right? So definitely it tells you something that it's an individualistic decision, right? To become rich, to become wealthy. So start thinking big, start thinking that way. If you are rich, you can do the kingdom's work. We want to do missions, you send money. Right? You want to help the poor, you send money. That's it. So if you are rich, it's easier to do the work of God.
Thank you very much. This is also an interesting question. How do I create wealth? What are the most sought after skills that enables us to create wealth? Okay,
you can create wealth in different ways, right? First, like I said, is everybody is born with something, right? And there's something that's usually at the back of your mind telling you what to do, right? And actions to take. It's only that we don't obey it. Or fear makes us not to exploit. Fear of the unknown, fear of whatever, fear of stepping out, right? Is usually what causes us not to explore or pursue, right? Skills you need, right? I'm biased. I'm in the tech field. Tech made me my own millions, right? So, I would say have a tech skill, right? Be computer literate at least, in the barest minimum. Know what is happening. Now we are getting into the world of AI, right? There are some jobs that can be aligned, right, in that field. Read about it. I know they're planning a career stuff around technology, and there are different places. So it's not just about programming. If you want to get into tech, it's not just programming. There are other skill sets you can have. You can be a quality assurance, can be a product manager, business analyst, project manager, UI, UX, user design. There are different things you can do. Copyright, if you like to write, you can be a copywriter or, different things. Content development. If you want to, you learn how to handle the camera, right? Learn how to do content, right? Different things that you can do. And you will make money. It's almost, if you are a good graphics, look at as little as graphics design. If you can be a very good graphics design. So my graphics designer, I have a staff that works for me. I've not seen him in 2 years. Since I hired him. He's in Nigeria, he's in Lagos. The guy is in Lagos. We have not seen, sat down face to face in the last 2 to 3 years. And he's collecting money. I pay him every month. I have not seen him. They send him the task, he delivers. He gets paid. And he does this, I know he's not just doing it for me. Do you understand? But it's very good. Because I've tried to for other people, but it's very good. So it will continue to earn. And that's just it. And there's a guy that works for me. He's my UI UX engineer. He studied law, or he's currently studying law in Obafemi Awolowo University. He's in his final year. He's been working for me for a year now. Right? Now, because I run 3 companies. He's working in the first company. The second company has extended a contract for him to work. He has not what? Finished. And he didn't study ITO. He's studying what? Law. But he's a very good user interface designer. And he's already earning money. I know he has earned millions at this last year alone. He's in Ife. Ile-Ife. He's not yet even in Lagos. So when I tell you it's possible, it's not a fallacy. There's another staff of mine that was me for 4 years, since 2016 when I started the first company. Nathaniel was doing his ND. He stopped at ND at Yaba Tech. But developed the skill also in design. Nat worked for 4 years, went to the UK. Because of that experience he has had, immediately finished his 1-year conversion diploma, got a job with an insurtech, earning about 40-something thousand pounds per year. First job in the UK. These are 20-something-year-olds. So, you can't tell me, because he doesn't have a BA, he didn't have a BS. It's ND. So, you need to have a skill, develop a skill. If it's a tech skill, find out how, start on it, bury your head, own it. In the first few months or 1 year, develop. Get somewhere where you can work, find projects online. The resources are there, YouTube. Instead of watching Nollywood, watch YouTube that would improve your skills. And then come and thank me later.
Thank you very much. I think one of the things I picked from your point is that we should learn how to come out from our comfort zone, do the extraordinary, be valuable, so that in exchange, our value will give us money. We need to be a valuable asset in our society. We can't just keep on sitting there. I remember one of our mentors told us at our early stage in life, I know Fola and Jimmy will remember the person, Uncle Bumi. The person said, you guys should take risk as much as possible, fail as much as possible, because you will learn from it. So the moment we learn how to come out from our comfort zone, take risk. I remember my first business, I lost all my money. Even my wife then was telling me, don't do this business, because I wanted to have this sense of, at least I started a business, let me fail. And I did the business, I failed woefully. But we should learn how to come out from our comfort zone, take risk. I bet you before you get to 40 years old, you would have learned from that risk and you will have grown. Thank you very much. Our sixth question is, does riches stop a person from serving God?
Not at all. In fact, you serve God more. In fact, that you serve all because you drop money for everything. So, I mean, you can serve God with different ways. Your time, your resources. If you don't have the time, then of course your resources, because it's God that gave you those resources in the first place. So, and for me, I used to joke, right? And I used to tell Pastor that, it's missions that I want to do. I'm not doing pastoral or anything. I don't want to be a pastor. If there's anything, I'll do my own part. But you can only do that if you have gotten to a point of what? Financial security. And so, definitely, riches is very important. Let me put it that way. The church is not running itself. It's not offering that runs the church. Let me put it that way.
All right, thank you very much. This question is also very, very important, because if we take a survey among the top richest people in the world, we see that most of them, they are atheists, they are Muslim, they serve different gods. So the question is, why do some Christians struggle financially?
Very good question. This thing you said is one of the things that Christians say, right? That Bill Gates, all the richest people, right? They're not Christians, right? But I'll shock you that there are a lot of Christian billionaires. The fact that they don't come out, we don't know, right? And I was shocked pleasantly. So I was talking to an investor. They run a fund in the US, and it's a faith-based fund. The founder of the fund is a billionaire, is a Christian billionaire, and he only invests in Christian tech founders. During the interview, the meeting, the questions, instead of asking questions about the business, do you know the questions they were asking? What is the concept? What is the gospel? Let us know your view on the gospel. What is the concept of Trinity? Those are the kind of questions that you're asking. Not even about, the business came later, but they were asking more about, Christianity, your values. That's what they were asking, right? I wish one of my cousins was here. They invested in one of my cousins too, right? And they gave him $100,000, right? He's a pastor. It's like you might probably know him. They gave him $100,000 for his fintech company. It was just a 2-day talk. Just, like what they saw that, he's a pastor, youth pastor, ministering. They liked what he was doing. They invested in him. So, the resources are there, right? Be proud of being a Christian. There are a lot of people who are Christians, who are rich, who wants to also invest in Christian faith-based people who love God and can merge what they are doing with God, right? So, yes, there are atheists, there are unbelievers that are, and it's just the principle about money. See, money doesn't respect anybody. Money is not said that, money will only follow Christians or will not follow non-Christians. There's a principle of money. It's value. You give value, money follows you, right? Rain falls on everyone. When rain falls, it doesn't select the farmer that is going to fall on. It falls on everybody, right? It's not what you do to make your crop or your harvest better. That is now on you as an individual, whether you're a Christian or not. And so you need to understand the principles, and then you back that up with God, and then you will do better and do much more exploits. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I know you are a billionaire. And and this question is actually this question is actually important because a lot of people, when they become wealthy, they tend to lose their character, their attitude, their behavior in the society. They tend to forget the God that gave them the money. So the question is, how can a person handle wealth and his faith?
Very good question. I mean, I think not so. There's the fellowship of brethren, right? It helps. So coming to church, making sure that you are among Christians, among people of similar interests, right? Coming to church, basically, right? You get reminded of the Word of God. You can get reminded that, of course, you didn't achieve all these things just on your own, right? There is a power that helped you to achieve all these things, right? And so just making sure that you are, and the truth is there are people that are doing it. Like, so for example, I don't know if you know in Aboyeji, the founder of Florida Wave, Andela and Co., right? He's also a billionaire. He is a strong Christian, right? People might not know. His father is now the GO of Foursquare, right? So he's a strong Christian, and at that young age, God helped him. So there's the place of God. It cannot be overemphasized, right? So it's very important. You can't, because now you have grown your branch, you now want to cut off from the tree. Right? It's just a matter of time, right? When the fan is spinning, when it's on high speed, it's moving. When you put off the fan, it still continues, right? But the power has been cut off. It's just a matter of time before that thing dries up or stops, right? So you need to make sure you are plugged in, right? So that, everything doesn't go away.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll go to the audience question now. The first person said, I realize a lot of us want our business to grow fast. What can you say about time to expand in business? As a business person, what is the standard years you could give yourself to grow?
So it's not about the years. I think it's just about doing the work, right? It might take 1 year, it might take 2 years, it might take 3 years. Right? And then for a business person, you need to understand when a business is not working, right? So that you can fail faster. You said something about iterating, moving fast. So if I'm selling, what business now? Clothes, right? If I'm selling clothes, maybe I buy in bulk from Asia or somewhere, China, and I bring them in and I resell retail, right? If the business is not moving as I want, first critique it. What am I not doing right? Are there similar people doing something similar to what I'm doing that are making it big, right? If there are people doing something similar, study what they are doing and replicate or copy. There is no this thing about copying. You can copy and paste, right? So copy things that are working and put that in your business to shorten your the time it would take you to get to where you need to get to, right? So find out what is working, do it or do more of that. If it's not working, move on to the next thing, right? Don't be emotionally attached to any business that is not working. There's something we call sunk cost, right? If it has gone, if you cannot do anything to bring it up, that's you've tried every possible thing possible, then just move on to the next thing.
All right, thank you very much. On this note, we would like you to give the youth your final advice on financial intelligence, how to grow wealth, and how to start a business.
Okay, so first thing is value. Increase your value. Be the best at what you are doing currently. If you are a dry cleaner or you have a dry cleaning store, be the best. Figure out how to make you stand out. I know some people that they don't go and cut their hair anywhere else. My friend, we live on the mainland. My friend goes as far as Ireland to go and cut his hair because of a particular barber. So if you are good, people will find you, regardless of where you are. right? So if you are a fashion designer, be the best. If you are a dry cleaner, be the best. If you are selling clothes, package your clothes well, make sure it's quality, be the best. Have a good price point, be the best, right? If you are selling soap, be the best. If you are selling granuts, be the best. There are people now exporting granuts in different ways, coating it with coconut stuff. Just be the best. Add more value to what you are doing. Save. When the money starts coming in, save a portion. Saving is important. That's the first thing you start doing before you start thinking about investing. Start saving from the little you are doing now. Over time, you see that savings, then you can then start investing, putting or expanding your business. You can reinvest that money into your own business to grow, right? If you see that the business is doing well, invest back into the business, expand yourself. And the best form of investment is investment in yourself. That one, market cannot crash it. Nothing can, distort it. Only you. Your competition is yourself, right? So be the best version of yourself, right? And it all starts from there. Once you are the best version of yourself, everything else follows. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to believe we've all gotten something from this session. Thank you very much.
Hallelujah. Can we put our hands together for